Holy shit, I am fucking exhausted. But what is going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV. We are back with yet another video, and we are here with the 5th episode of It Welcome to Derry. This just came out yesterday, I do believe, and we are going to be dropping this video on Tuesday, the 26th of November, hopefully. We will see what goes on, but going into episode 5, you guys can go watch my episode 4 and other episode reviews for this series so far. I honestly wasn't expecting much. Episode 4 dipped hard after the incredible episode 3, and it felt like momentum was kind of slipping away, and that the show is sort of returning back to square one of a very boring show, honestly. And that's why guys like Cody Leach I saw stop reviewing it. Episode 3 was the high point of the entire season. Deep lore, great pacing, actual reveals, and episode 4 basically stalled out with repetitive teasing and no major breakthroughs. So episode 5 needed to hit, and needed to finally deliver on Pennywise, the lore, the stakes, and the actual horror of Derry. And I'm happy to say, honestly, that episode 5 actually delivers. I think this is going to be a very positive review. I really liked episode 5. This is easily the second best, it might even be the best episode of the season, if not tied with episode 3, depending on what you value more. So with that being said, we're going to get into what happens, the good, the bad, the okay, give a review, rating, we are out. So getting into the premise, I love how I'm watching this in real time with you guys, because the episode starts by picking up the cliffhanger from last week. Lily appearing to have stabbed her friend in the eye. It's what it looks like to kind of everyone that walks in, and she gets caught red-handed in the most like cliche way possible. That immediately gets resolved almost too quickly, and we'll talk about some of that stuff in a second. I have a few gripes with this episode. Obviously, again, overall I really like it, but it does push the kids back together and gives the show an excuse to regroup the Losers Club prototype, you know, with the whole like Stranger Things stuff. And by the way, I do want to announce out there that Stranger Things is coming out on Wednesday with, I believe, 4 episodes. So let me know in the comments how you guys want me to format. I might even put this in the short as well. Let me know like how you guys want me to format that. I need your guys' input, because I'm not sure if I should do like a full volume review, few episodes at a time, 1 episode at a time, whatever. Let me know. From here, just getting into some of the plot points. The kids reunite at their usual lookout tower, which has been iconic all season long. They discover a homeless tent. Inside it is Maddie, who has been missing since episode 1, or at least it seems. Emotional reveal, obviously it becomes the twist of the season. Maddie melts away though, and then morphs into Pennywise. Spoiler alert, obviously this is a big time spoiler review, but Pennywise gets introduced into the series. Dead kids rise from the sewer water. Chaos erupts. The kids flee. There's this huge fucking action sequence at the end. Obviously the military continues its mission with this into the burial grounds, getting deeper into the Native American investigation. Halloran pushes deeper into his psychic connection, which we're not 100% sure yet, but I'm sure they're going to continue to reveal bits and pieces. Tanuel escapes. A soldier tragically shoots his own friend during a Pennywise type of hallucination. The shard becomes a clear barrier Pennywise won't cross. We end with Pennywise fully active and the kids traumatized. This episode finally ties the kids and the military and the burial grounds, the lore, the Pennywise threads into one functional direction, and this is possibly the most cohesive episode of this series so far. So with that being said, let's get into the meat and potatoes. So getting into the good, I want to first start with Maddie's return slash the Pennywise twist. I think that's a huge moment here. Absolutely the best sequence of this series so far. They fully sold the idea that Maddie somehow survived, only to rip that hope away with the Pennywise transformation. I think that was perfectly executed horror writing, perfectly executed direction done by the writers of this thing. And it was crazy. Again, it's crazy to think that I actually thought that Maddie would come back, but they sold me on it, and they had like whole conversations. Pennywise played into his character and then shape-shifted, which is great. Pennywise's true reveal kind of going with this is amazing. The glowing yellow eyes in the sewer, the stalking, the tonal shift of the entire episode the second Bill Skarsgård, the legend, comes on screen is absolutely insane. Damn near gives you goosebumps like, holy shit, that's fucking Pennywise. That's what we came here for. And 5 episodes in, we finally get him. That's what we came for. He feels ancient, manipulative, nightmare-driven, and kind of predatory, like a Michael Myers type of character. It seems like he takes a lot of the big slasher killers into one. That Freddy / Myers hybrid feel is exactly why this reveal hit so hard. And next, let's just get into the kids' group chemistry. I think that's very strong in this episode. Surprisingly good. Again, still Stranger Things adjacent. And sure, this show definitely rips off of a show like that, which again is coming out soon, but that is extremely effective. I think their personalities are distinct enough. The characters are like personable enough, and the sewer sequence solidifies them as an actual squad as they're kind of working together, similar to what they did with like the ritual and the graveyard scene, which made episode 3 great, obviously, and that's what makes this this episode great as well. The dead kids rising and like the sewer visuals were great. Classic It atmosphere. It's kind of like this nostalgic, eerie sewer horror the franchise is famous for, and there's a lot of callbacks to it, and they pay homage to the original series in a lot of ways. The orange glow of his eyes, the slow rising bodies, great visual callback. Again, a lot of inspiration there. The Native American like burial lore continues to expand here, and I can kind of comment on that as well. The shard acting as kind of like the barrier to Pennywise. That's very cool lore expansion. Kind of shows Pennywise is having this like kryptonite, and I know they kind of revealed that in the previous episode, but it becomes a lot more apparent here. It gives some rules here, lets Lily have like a survival tool, kind of have her own like save yourself moment that matters, which is really awesome. The military team entering the sewers as well. Again, just the whole sewer dynamic and just kind of getting into some of the plot points again with the military and everyone just kind of grouping together and going in there. The subplot finally matters. Like the military is finally like going in hand-to-hand combat and having an actual threat instead of like flying in the air and like Halloran has an episode and then boom, we have to land and check up on him, you know. It actually matters. Stakes become real, people actually die, and the mission feels believable. Not filler like earlier episodes, not just a way as like to get through it. It's a very strong bounce back episode as well. I do think that is a positive, the fact that it really recovers from the faults of last episode. It corrects episode 4's missteps and adds real momentum for the remaining 3 episodes, as this is a really good time I think to bring Pennywise in here. Again, Pennywise becoming a real threat as well is great. This is the moment that the show needed. No more half teases. Pennywise is in full swing now, and now he is an official villain. Now he is like the main threat, the main antagonist. But let's move on. There are a few bad things. I think Lily getting forgiven instantly is my biggest gripe here, because why was that so rushed? Why was that so convenient? That felt like something that could have been built over like the episode. But no, like instantly her friend is like telling the truth, and it just seems way too convenient, especially given that her friend was in this like super popular girls group and she was talking shit about Lily behind her back, planning to prank her, doing all this stuff that didn't really make much sense. They built up a massive cliffhanger just to kind of toss it aside instantly just for the sake of, hey, Pennywise is coming this episode. The lore is still kind of confusing as well, and this is a half bad. I wouldn't say this is like extremely terrible about the show and of the show, but there's definitely some bad parts about it. It is good, like it seems like the lore has some direction and it seems like the creators of the show know what they're talking about, but it's still a little cryptic. Halloran's backstory, the burial rules, the Pennywise connection to the land, it remains somewhat vague, and especially Halloran and his backstory and why he has all of these psychic visions and this stuff. That is a major gripe of mine. It better be leading to something huge. In these last 3 episodes, they better start to reveal some things about Halloran, or else he's going to be a meaningless character. And then shooting his friend, kind of forced drama, didn't really need to happen. It felt like the writers needed a shocking death of like a somewhat major character, and they chose the fastest, cheapest option, like, oh, oops, let me step in front of you so you don't shoot your son that you're not hallucinating about. It wasn't really earned at all, didn't really have a payoff, but those are my bads. Getting into the, okay, there are some things about like the kids group dynamics that are pretty meh to me. It's a fun group, like I like the kids again, and it reminds you of like a Stranger Things type of thing, but it's not fully developed. Chemistry is inconsistent, especially again with like Ronnie and Michael kind of forgiving that they like each other. I know, again, I said that was weird when I was covering this a few episodes ago, but it's like they kind of just forgot about some of these things and forgot about some of the character dynamics, and that is very strange. Halloran's flashback, I guess getting into him a little bit more specifically, cool visuals, but again, the purpose of these are unclear, and until we get some reveals, until we get some revelations, some backstory, some explanation out of the writing here, it doesn't make sense. They're clearly hiding like an important twist, like Halloran has to be either like connected to Pennywise in some way, his own little evil entity, like a super soldier, something. But right now it's only like half satisfying because again, it looks cool, but I don't know. The CGI is mixed as always, nothing fantastic about it. It isn't like a super high budget, and I completely understand that. They're not going for like a Marvel spectacle, but the balloons are still kind of CGI looking. The sewer looks great. It looks just like it did in the 2017 and 2018, 2019 films, or whatever year those came out. Some of the CGI feels like a video game cutscene. Nothing really show breaking. I do like kind of like the cartoon nature of some of the CGI. It doesn't look bad, but it's definitely mixed. The pacing, there's still some uneven like early scenes, I will say, which is why I'm putting this in the okay. It is definitely better than episode 4. They definitely make it more interesting and like pick up the stakes a lot more similar to what they did in episode 3, but still at the end of the day, there's still some moments here, there's still some plot points that they're continuing to try to like hammer into your head that you're like, I don't really know. So let's get into the review. So getting into the review, overall, I really liked this episode. There's a lot of great things to say, and I will be pretty fucking high on this. I don't remember remember what I gave the old review. I'll have to check here in a second. I'll just kind of wing it here. There's huge moments. Pennywise is actually on the screen this time, which gives probably about half of a rating. There's solid horror here. There's effective reveals. There's minor convenience and pacing issues overall. Yes, this episode definitely has its issues. There's nothing really flawless about what the show is executing so far and how they're giving us some prequel lore. But overall, this is probably the strongest actual It episode. Now, is it the best episode of television we have gotten so far? Probably not. I'd probably give that to episode 3. But in terms of Pennywise, in terms of this franchise, this is the best one the show has offered so far and the best setup for the final stretch of the season. This feels like the mid-season finale that we were kind of supposed to get in episode 4. And overall, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 7.9 to 8 out of 10. I think this was fantastic, and this probably is the best episode to me of the season. But again, from a technical standpoint, I would understand if you liked episode 3 better. But that is going to do it again. I will give it an 8 out of 10. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. I think that is really good. I'm very excited to see what episodes 6 through 8 do as we close out the first season and await some of the other lore and some of the other time periods that they're going to be exploring. But again, a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. This week we have NFL recaps for this week of football. We have Stranger Things coming out with volume 1 again. You guys let me know in the comments how you guys want me to shoot that, and I will do exactly that. And we have some more MCU stuff. We're going to get into Ant-Man Quantumania if time permits. Obviously the holidays are coming up and I'm going to be spending time with my family, but again, if time permits, we will get into all that stuff. So with that being said, I'm out.